Initially, I wasn't really big on streaming because when I looked at the numbers, it was outrageous for me. It wasn't enough. You understand? I think you make like 0.0007 cents or whatever you call that for every stream. So it didn't really make like when I calculated it, you have to get a million streams to get this amount. Nah, I'll just play one show and make this. So I don't really care about streaming. Plus, if you focus too much on streaming, people don't get your music, you don't get popular, and then you don't make any money from shows, then you are shooting yourself in the leg. This was me initially, right? And then over time, and because of experience and reading and some of the stuff I've seen, I've come to realize that it is a path of freedom. It is a path to independence for artists, especially artists who want to do things their way. Artists who don't want their creative freedom infringed on in any way, who want to do whatever type of music. You understand? Now you have a way where you know if you're able to build a cult following and get them to stream content from you at a certain rate, at least you are guaranteed a certain amount of money over a certain period of time. You understand? And it appeals to me because I'm not one of those people who started doing this because of the celebrity and what do you call it, and the fortune aspect. You understand? I didn't start rapping because I was watching MTV Cribs, even though I watched MTV Cribs and I was excited by everything. But that's not what drove me to. You understand? For those people, it may be harder for them because what they are looking for is big paydays. They are looking for $1 million. You understand? But for artists like me who this art or this music is no different from a 9 to 5. Like I don't see myself as being different from a doctor or a lawyer or someone who goes to the office. The only difference is I have my own office hours. You understand? I may not wake up early, but I sleep really late. I sleep when everybody else is waking up. Yeah. So for people like me, I realize that it's a path to freedom because it can give you a certain amount of money that if you break it down into a monthly salary, you'll be getting paid more than maybe a doctor gets paid every month. You'll be getting paid more than maybe a lecturer gets paid every month. You understand? And whilst that doesn't necessarily make you the richest guy in Ghana, it's freedom. Because you want to be able to do what you love and get paid enough to survive for it. You understand? So if streaming can put 3,000, 4,000 Ghana cedis in your account every month, then you're free. Then you don't have to go and pay Payola for a DJ to be insulting you. You don't have to go and beg for interviews for people to be on your. You don't have to be doing free shows. You understand? You can just do the music and put it out how you want to put it out. Let the people who enjoy it receive it, and then you can be free. Yeah, I love being free. I love the fact that I can go and watch it by the streets. I love those little things. I love. If it wasn't for the fact that my stylist is sitting right here and there will be an issue, I'll come and do an interview like this in shorts and slippers. He knows me. You can give me one Adidas track, whatever, and I'll wear it for the rest of the year. I'm that type of guy. It shouldn't be that serious, you understand? So if there's a way for me to do that, which I find at this moment to be streaming and maybe publishing, I'm now doing my little research on that side. If that happens, then I can provide that freedom for myself. And then if I pick a new artist that's coming up that I see myself in, that I say, I feel like, okay, this guy can also, also wants to be as free as I am, I can sell that idea to him too. And then now, because we are not chasing after money, we will be able to protect our content better. We will be able to make better demands. You understand? We will be able, now when they call me for a show and I say I want this, I want my DJ to have this, have that, and they don't have it, I can decide not to do it. Because at the end of the month, I'm cool. You understand? Yeah. Yeah, for me, as I was saying earlier, it all depends on what's made you fall in love with the music in the first place. Anybody who fell in love with music based on just the music is a certain type of way about his art, because it's about the music for him first. You understand? All the people who fell in love with the music because, hey, Birdman was driving a Bentley, of course that's his motivation. He is not a musician, he's a hustler, he just wants a Bentley. And he feels like music is the easiest way for him to get to that. So if you feed a person a certain idea of how things are supposed to be, you can't blame them for trying to be that way. You understand? And that's what I was saying. Depending on why you fell in love with the music, it kind of determines the type of artist that you are. And you can't fault anybody for their motivations, because everybody comes from different backgrounds. People are motivated by very different things. You understand what I'm saying? Like, when I started, it was easier for me to be the guy that only cares about the music, because when I started, I was doing it for me and for the reason why I fell in love with the music, which was just the music. But then it got to a point where it became bigger than me, because I walked into my neighborhood one day and my cousin had a makeshift studio in his room, and there were like 5-6 kids in the neighborhood who were rapping, and it was because of me, because they saw me rapping and they thought, oh, this is an incredible thing, he's here, we saw him on TV, we saw him here, we heard him on radio, we want that. So they started rapping. So at that point, it stopped being about me and what I like, or why I fell in love with the music for me. It started being about those kids, because some of them couldn't go to school because they're not very bright, and our educational system is some way. It doesn't focus on your skill. It throws you in, it throws a shack on land and expects it to just walk, you understand? So some of them too just didn't have enough money to back them in that way. So if I could give them a way out of the neighborhood that didn't involve them being a fraud boy or them doing something that's criminal, that became my new motivation. And for me to continue being that guy for them, they have to see what they feel is success. Yeah. And what the media feeds them as a successful rapper is a guy that's going on tour in the US, or a guy that just won 10 GMAs and has this hit song that is playing everywhere, even if the song is just about booty, and I don't really care about booty. You understand? But now it's not about me anymore, it's about them. So my motivation has changed, and it has affected the music in a certain way. So just using myself as an example, it helped me understand all the people that in the beginning, because me in the beginning I was really like, there's certain type of songs I wouldn't do, or there's certain type of artists I didn't want to mess around with, because Charlie, I didn't respect their art, you understand? But I started understanding them and where they were coming from. Not everybody is in this for the art. Every time when you are super motivated to do something for yourself, you do something that is pure. But after that, if all the motivation is to do something so that those kids can be happy, and you can paint a certain picture to them about success, and they can follow that path instead of all the other paths that may lead them to distraction, then it's no longer about me. Then I have to follow that path, you understand? So we can blame the media, but I feel like media mirrors society at best. The problem is with the society itself. It stopped being about excellence a long time ago. There was a time when the world over, to be considered a great guy, you had to invent something. You understand? You had to add something incredible to society that benefited like You understand? And people died broke trying to achieve this goal. People like Tesla, you understand? He died broke trying to make it so everybody can have electricity in a certain way. You understand? So that electricity could be cheap for everyone. Because that was his era. You understand? That was the era when being a professor in a university was a super big deal. That was the era when a university degree was a super big deal. It is no longer like that anymore. So it is the society that determines what is excellence. And when they determine that, and we have not corrected that, we shouldn't blame people for chasing that idea of excellence. It's a backward cycle. It's a cycle it's not how it's supposed to be. But that is what it is at the moment. You understand? And for me, I feel like it is easier to change at the top than it is to change at the bottom. Because it is easier for Manifest to tell a kid from my neighborhood that he doesn't have to make a certain type of song to be successful. Because Manifest represents not making that type of song and being successful. You understand? But it is harder for me to make that same statement to them because I don't have the same level of success. You understand what I'm saying? It is like me standing next to a fraud boy in what do you call it? Not even a Cola, in a Range Rover, and I am in school trying to pursue a degree in medicine, and me telling them being a doctor is better and will make you more successful than this guy. But I'm not in a Cola, and I'm on my way to be a doctor. I'm a doctor already. I don't have a Range Rover. This guy has a Range Rover. You understand? To him, it's BS. Because what are you standing on to say what you are saying? You understand? So if enough people with a certain type of thinking get to a certain level and change the status quo, that's what it does. You understand? There was a time in our rap culture where to be considered a dope MC by the masses, you had to sound like Obrafo. And all of us rapping, we would go and get Chi proverb books and put like 1 million Chi proverbs in there, even if we didn't understand them. Because that's what people, when I was coming up in school, that's what people pointed at as, oh, this guy can rap. Then it came to a time where Chame Kwame was the standard. Then it's come to a point where a guy like Sak is the standard for average Ghanaians. You understand? So now to rap, to be considered, hey, this guy is a dope rapper, you have to say, no. You understand? Even if you're not really putting anything in there that makes sense to him. Because you are mirroring the most successful guy at that point. To him, this is the best rapper anyway. So it takes us getting to a certain degree. If the top 10 artists in Ghana in the next 2 years are people like Kwesi Arthur, Walasi, I won't even put myself in there, Sina, so you understand, are people like that, and they make music a certain type of way, do you think everybody else that is trying to make music will make music with that same goal in mind? But until you achieve that, to him, it doesn't make any sense for him to do what you're doing, because that's not what gets you to the top of the game that you're in. And nobody came here to be second. You understand? Yeah, so it is something that we have to work on, and now we are working on. Hip-hop failed us in that when they started out, it was about skills. And then the money people started coming in. And the money people turned it from being about. You understand? When hip-hop songs went from, I'm the dopest rapper you ever seen with the dopest punchlines, to, dude, you don't even drive a Benz, changed everything. Because people didn't get in the game to say they were the dopest rapper and try to prove it anymore. It was about, dude, you don't even drive a Benz. You understand? So for us to change that, we have to be able to push and get to that level and do music a certain type of way, so that everybody will understand that. You understand? Me personally, like I told you, I'm not even against some of these songs because I see people dance to the songs. It genuinely makes them happy. All I want for our music industry is for there to be an open enough market for a Walasi to be successful right next to a Misfi. You understand? That's what I want. I don't want where all the artists have to sound a certain way to be successful. I want it to be open where all you have to do is do what you're doing to the best of your ability and you can be successful too. So that is what me personally I chase. The hardest thing for me is it doesn't give you the assurance that you can be the best of whatever you are and still get paid for it. You have to fit in a certain way. We all have to be squares. You can't be a circle and still fit into it. You understand? That's the hardest thing for me because in America, you have an artist like No Name Gypsy who does what some type of music I will not really consider mainstream. But there's still the chance for her to blow up. Even if she doesn't blow up and become a Drake over time, there's still the chance for her to tour and make money from doing whatever she wants to do. I also don't believe that every type of artist and every type of art will make you super successful. I don't believe that. There are certain things that just won't be hailed by everyone right now, but later on along the line maybe. And there are certain things that are just not for everybody. You understand? But other places and other industries allow you to be that type of artist and still survive and still make some money. Our industry doesn't allow that. Our industry doesn't even allow you to be an old artist. You understand? Our industry only allows you to be a hit maker because you're only as well fed as your last hit song. If you don't have a hit song in 2 years, you are the guy that fell off. Which is crazy because Kojo used to not have an album out for 3 years. And everybody was waiting for Kojo to drop. And when Kojo dropped, it was, yo, Kojo. Nowadays, no. Nowadays, you don't have a song out in 2 months. This guy cried, he fell off. And then there's this new guy, and all of a sudden he's the greatest rapper in the world because Kojo Q hasn't dropped The Shining, another The Shining in 3 years. So this guy is the new guy, the rap past Kojo Q. Doesn't make any sense to me. Because then the artist doesn't get the time to perfect whatever they are putting out. You understand? And it's not everything that you can put out a certain way just to get to a certain point. You understand? For the music that I am making to get up here so that the people in the hood can see me a certain way, I can give them a song every day if they want, if that's what will take me to that goal. But for the music that I make for me because I fell in love with that Obrafo song, if it's going to take me 10 years to put out a project where I feel like this is it, I don't really care. But Ghana won't allow you to be that guy. So you have to compensate by being that other guy also, which you may not really even like. Like if Adele was a Ghanaian artist, this year she fell off. Oh yeah, if Adele was a Ghanaian artist, like every 2 years she's no, hits. You understand? If Adele, Charlie, if Michael Jackson was a Ghanaian artist right now, or old school, he only gets to perform at like stage banquets and things that when the old people meet, and they'll let him come and perform some 1 hour live band set. Then they'll come on TV and come and say, oh, Michael Jackson is such a great performer, and then the next day it's right back to Migos again. You understand? It doesn't allow us to do that. So that's the hardest part. If we ever get to the point where you can be any type of artist and there's still a way for you to survive down here, I'll be very happy if I'm part of making that happen, or if I inspire the guy who makes that happen. Yeah. I don't put too much blame on the radio Because at the end of the day, the relationship between the fan and the radio is really hand-in-hand type thing. The radio is looking to the fan to see what to play, and the fan is looking to the radio to see what type of songs to believe, oh, these songs are incredible. You understand? So I don't really blame them too much and say, oh, they are the reason why certain things fell off. Even though I feel like they stopped being taste makers. They stopped being, it stopped being about, yo, I'm going to listen to this particular DJ to know what is the hottest song in the world. And I'm going to believe this is the hottest song in the world because this DJ told me. It stopped being about that. It's now more of, okay, what do these people think are the hottest songs? Let me play it for them. You understand? So that's where I have a little problem with them. They stopped being leaders, and now they're just following a lot. But besides that, I don't have too much problem with what they're doing. They're business. They're doing what they have to do, and I can't sit here and lie to you and say I had a big problem with radio playing my songs or what, because honestly, when I started doing music, I didn't really care whether radio was going to play it or not. Honestly, when just putting it online and having people go crazy was cool for me. I didn't care at all about whether or not radio was going to play it. And then by the time I started caring about radio, they were already playing it. You understand? And then after radio played it for a while, I also got over that whole, I am not as excited anymore to hear my song playing on the radio. Not as excited as a new artist would be. You understand? Because I've come to understand certain things more, that some people may not even have a song play on the radio at all and be making more money than you. So it's not really about that. You understand? Yeah. I have a big issue with shows and performances in this country, and I have an issue with our organizers, and I have an issue with our media, because my issue with the media is they've painted a certain idea, or they painted a certain picture into the minds of the fans of who a great performer is supposed to be. You understand? And that idea that they've painted is not actually what a standard, it's not the standard for great performers. You understand? The idea of a great performer in this country is who gets the crowd to make the most noise. You understand? Which is backwards to me. Because if you go by that standard, then definitely the guy with a popular song will always win. Even if he comes to stand at the back of the stage and doesn't even sing, but lets his CD play, he will always win. You understand? Even a DJ will win against a live performer if you're talking about the most popular songs or who gets the best crowd reactions. You understand? If you go deep into the performance arts, if you go and sit in a theater and watch opera, whatever people perform, people are not making noise. When they finish, you get a standing ovation if they were incredible. So it's not about the noise. Let's stop promoting that idea. You understand? People come on stage and their vocal ability is incredible. Their movement on stage is gracious. They have an incredible band or whatever backing them. And because 3 people in the front didn't know their songs or were being diverse and didn't want to throw their hands up, people sit at home and say, this performance is boring. You know? Someone will sit at home and say, oh, this guy performance is really boring. You know, see the people, they sit there. No, they are sitting there because they don't know the song. I've never been anywhere in my life where someone was performing a song I didn't know, that even though I liked it, I got up and was screaming along to the lyrics. I don't know the song. How do I respond to what he's saying if I don't know the song? You understand? But you can tell the person is incredible. His vocal ability is on point. The way he's moving on the stage is nice to see. And then my other issue that I have is they turn around and they compare us to foreign artists on performance issues. Like they see you performing at GMA, and all of a sudden, like our artists there, blah blah blah. Go and watch the BET Awards. You understand? First of all, the Migos are not better performers than anybody in Ghana. But if you watch a Migos performance at BET, you're going to love that thing just off of the stage setup and how lights are manipulated. You understand? You give Ghanaian artists the same stage with some one round. I don't know why they always put that one round thing in the middle of the stage. Like, there's a roundabout that you're supposed to go around. And then you give them lighting technicians that don't even want to work for them. Before you go on stage, you tell the lights guy, when this song is coming out, I want the lights to be dim. When this song is coming out, give me this light. And he doesn't, you get on stage, he's like, oh cool, you get on stage and he doesn't do that. And there's this guy sitting at home watching the transmission on GTV, and because the GTV sound is bad, they are recording in mono. He's sitting at home thinking, oh, these GMAs are really shitty. All the performances, Ghanaian artists bar. But if you've ever been in an auditorium, when people are performing, you realize that even the performances that when you watch at home are 100% annoying, are more alive in the auditorium. You understand? At least even when the singer doesn't get it right, the band gets it right, because they know what they're doing. Most of the bands that they get are bands that, you understand, you can never have the full experience because the guy that's transmitting the thing is transmitting in mono. The thing is not properly even mixed before it gets to you. So you're hearing this whack sound and you're blaming the artist. And the artist is performing, going around a roundabout. And I don't know why. This country has an obsession with roundabouts. I don't know where we got it from. Like, every small place wants to do a roundabout. Even on stage, you understand? If you tell an organizer, oh, this show that I'm coming to do, I want to bring 100 people with me, it's going to be a huge fight if you are not Shatawale. You can't say anything to Shatawale because it's Shatta. You will bring 100 people if you want to. But if you want to bring 5 people to help you with whatever you're supposed to do on stage, make your performance way more appealing to the people that are watching, there's going to be an issue. You understand it? An issue. And then the last time, one big show that I performed at, I didn't get enough passes. And then when they came to give me the extra passes, it wasn't passes for artists, it was passes for crew. And then when we got backstage, they said anybody with passes for crew can't come on stage. And everybody in my team had passes for crew, and 3 of them were supposed to be on stage with me. And they said, you can't come on stage. And this became a back and forth thing between them and my team until it got sorted out. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it felt weird to me because it's like, why are you restricting this guy from going on stage? Are you afraid that after I am done performing, I will come and sit in the crowd and watch the video or what? I'm not here to fucking watch the video. I would have paid to come and sit in a crowd to watch the video if that's what I wanted to do. I'm here to perform and go. You can't give me passes to bring people on stage that I will leave with. They are not affecting your money in any way. But then when the performance is not nice, you and all the people in the world will say that this guy is a shitty artist. You understand? There are lots of things that we don't give the artist credit for. You go to a show and the backdrop is so annoying, and there are people coming in and out while the artist is performing. You can see somebody, he will open the backdrop a little, put his head out, look around, go back. You understand? And you have to understand that performance is a visual art. It is beyond the musical. It is what the people are seeing. And if he's not seeing something that's exciting, he's not going to be excited just because, you understand. If he's seeing something exciting, even if he doesn't know the song, if you play with the lights enough, if the stage setup is crazy enough, If the guy is doing some crazy stuff, even if he doesn't know the song, he's amazed by it. That's when he goes home and he says, "Shall I watch this guy perform? Some new guy, be called whatever perform. It was crazy, yo. Even though I don't know the song." But he doesn't know the song. You can't put him at a roundabout. He's performing to people who want to hear songs they know. He tells you, "When I'm coming on, put up the light and just give me a spotlight." And when he walks on, your lights are on. And then you are mad that he didn't do right in performing. And then people are sitting at home not realizing that this is not just the fault of artists, but this is the fault of everybody from sound men to organizers to the TV stations that are showing you these things. You understand? And that is my biggest problem with performing in this country. I feel like Ghana music industry is just like Ghana everything else. It's existent only in name, not in terms of structure. And it is not like it is because we are bad musicians or we are bad music business people, but it is just a reflection of the country as a whole. Nothing works. You understand? If you are going to put Hollywood on a pedestal and say, "Look at how Hollywood is structured. Look at everything else." They are in a working environment. They don't have a choice but to work. We are not in an environment that works. And here is the case where the music is not even considered one, or entertainment is not even considered one of the important things. You understand? So the gatekeepers are not going to go to lengths to make that one alone work, when even the health system doesn't work. People can't even get proper health care. You are talking about a Ghana music industry. You are not going to get that anytime soon. You understand? Because to get that, you need legislation. You need some government intervention to a certain degree. You need some business intervention to a certain degree. All those people don't think you are a serious business or a serious field. It's the field that we come to after we've done everything else. You understand? When they read the budgets in Parliament, or when people are reading their manifestos, a lot of people don't pay attention to what they say they'll do for creative arts. Some people don't even talk about creative. Who cares about creative arts? That's not one of the things we are here for. We'll do roads, we'll do this. So we have to look at it in terms of that. And I think in terms of that, we have really done well for ourselves. Honestly. For Shatawale to be performing and taking 100K and upwards, we've done well. Because this is the same industry where people, if you charged more than 500 CDs, nobody will call you for shows. Because and this is the same industry where people we saw as legends took 200 CDs and cents for shows. And now people can take 100K in the same industry. You understand? And now people can get certain types of respect. And now people can be musicians without their family or friends feeling like these people are just a bunch of cowboys. So we have come a long way. We still have a longer way to go, but I believe with the young ones that I've seen and the mentality that they have, if we keep on going the way that we are going to get there faster than we think. You understand? But we don't have to sell ourselves short. We don't have to look at it like we are not doing enough. The problem is a problem that passes everywhere. You understand? If you look at the Nigerians, they have a better industry than us. Their industry is not as well structured as America is. You understand? It has a certain structure. It doesn't rival America in terms of structure, or even the UK in terms of structure. In terms of money, it's probably bigger than the UK. But that's because Nigerians understand money. So the money side of it has been taken care of. But still the structure side, because everything else in the country in terms of structure is not up there, it is still lacking. But the money side has been taken care of, because if there's one thing they understand, it's business and long-term investments. We don't have that here. Businessmen, first of all, don't think music is something they should invest in. Secondly, they don't see that far enough into the future. If you're a visionary and you come in, everybody then starts to copy you. You understand? If you tell people, I had this thing where I said, I started telling people to be themselves, and in the end, they wanted to be me. You understand? Because they idolized me so much for what I was preaching. Even though I was telling them to be themselves, they thought being themselves was being me. So they were preaching be yourself like me, but then trying to be me. And that is what we have. We have people where even when a visionary comes in, he has a bright idea, the next guy doesn't want to have another bright idea of his own. He wants to pick that idea and change the name. So this guy took meat pies, sellers and stuff off the streets, branded his pie, and gave these meat pie sellers, what do you call it? Uniforms, right? And put them on the streets, and they were selling. And it blew up. Oh, Charlie, this is a... And all of a sudden, everybody's doing the same thing. Just with different names. Like, this has been there all the time. You understand? How long has Uber been existing outside Ghana? Ghanaians have known about Uber for a long time before they came. Nobody tried to do anything like that. Uber comes the next day, there's 4 other Uber-like companies. You understand what I'm saying? It's a problem with our society. It's a problem with our way of thinking. It goes deeper than us, musicians. Don't put that on us. We try, but don't put that on us. If we work to make everything else work out, and I feel like the educational system is what needs to change the most. And when I say educational system, I mean at the basics, not in the university. People think it's at the university where people become smarter or become more intelligent. If you are dumb from before you get to the university, there's nothing they can do for you. You understand? You've polished a person up from the time when... It's like when you're carving wood, right? When you have the wood and it's fresh, that is the time that you can do the most cuts to it. But after you've cut it into a certain shape, every single cut that you take, if it's not refined to make sure that that shape that you've already cut it into is being refined, you are messing up the wood, which is what happens. Our kids get to the university and it's either they are going to make them smarter, dumber versions of themselves, for lack of a better word, or they are going to make them even worse off than when they got there. And we have this culture of passing and having certificates is better than actually knowing. We have this culture of obeying rules and regulations in a certain way is better than actually doing and bringing results. So the guy who can come to work in a polo shirt and make the most badass design in the world and make the world a better place and put more money in your pocket won't be allowed because he's not wearing a shirt. You don't even allow judges in court without a wig on. That's colonial. That's something our colonial masters left us. Having a white wig on doesn't do anything to your sense. But we have to have that on. You understand? That's the type of society we are. So don't come and put that on our door. Don't make that a problem that we created. That's not a problem we created. It's a problem that's everywhere. That cuts through everything we do, from the way we are lynching people to it cuts across everything we do. And we have to attack it at the roots. If you have, and I'll end it after this, if you have people who couldn't pass SSC and O-level and WASI to get to the university, teaching kids at the basic level. If you have people that got F9 in mathematics at their SSC, teaching class 1 to 3 pupils math, then you have a problem. That nigga doesn't know what he's talking about. He's in the class just giving them something from the book and he can't explain it to them better. So the kids also learn how to not understand concepts and use them. You understand? And then we have a problem. And that problem keeps eating us out from the inside. And then our leaders don't care because they are getting rich and they have passports for their kids and they are not even Ghanaian. So on that note, I'll see you next time.
Clark Kent with my glasses, super rapper without them I day. Come from a place people know as the bottom. So when they say money no be problem, I can't relate. Cause we dey wire when the salary's late. Stay real every second, man, I can't be fake. All my life then try tell me say I can't be great. I swore day I bought day, I never listen. Even the mafia know if you convince me I can't be made, huh?